I don't know if the Scottish accent is coming anytime soon. For me, that feels like the last frontier before AGI, you know?
If you can decipher those, then I don't know. I think at that point,
All bets are off.
You've passed the Turing test.
This is gonna get a massive, massive boost because guess what's coming to bits? VO2.
Hey everyone, we are here with our kilts. Next, 2025, day 2. My voice is almost gone. I have never done this much talking, I don't think in my life. But what we wanted to do is kind of sit down and kind of decompress and have a think about what was announced and kind of summarize our key takeaways from Next, especially around Google Workspace.
That's right. The keynote yesterday was absolutely stunning. Incredible updates across basically all of the Google Workspace tools and products for AI integrations, and very excited to break those down.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go into our first one. So this is what I'm most excited about, which is a new feature that Google actually teased last year at I/O called Workflows. It's now been launched into, well, we don't know quite when it's going to be launched fully yet, but it's called Flows now. And it's basically the idea that you can set action or time-based triggers in order to automate particular tasks. Not only that, but there's a layer of Gemini integrated within it. So you can add a prompt into that automation in the process workflow. Isn't that incredible?
Incredible, yeah. I mean, I've always wanted an if this then that kind of workflow builder out of Workspace. Now, you know, I love my app script, I love my application and automation, and you know, us and the team can do this, but not everyone can, right? So this being a no-code solution for workflow navigation and being able to create processes that are automated, sprinkled in with a bit of Gemini, that's something that I've been asking for years. So I'm so happy to see it coming.
That's right. And one thing that's really interesting about this is there's this other product or solution from Google called Agent Space. We had a really interesting demo actually with one of the product managers, and they kind of clarified for us that Agent Space is more kind of enterprise ready, more in the GCP world, some kind of custom development may be included there, but Flows is really supposed to be for every single Workspace user in a company to be able to create automated workflows, whether you're in sales, marketing, finance, operations, customer support, it doesn't matter. You'll be able to find use cases where you can save time, and that'll free up your time to do higher value tasks.
I'm already thinking of use cases. I can't wait for this to launch.
All right, let's go into our second.
Yes, second one.
So our second update, Victor, is, well, I don't know about you, but every time I show a new user or a company or a team Notebook LM and I show them the audio overview or the podcast feature, mind blown, right? Google actually introduced that into Gemini directly recently, but they're actually bringing that capability directly into Docs as well. So you can do a couple different things. One, you can generate a read-through, an audio read-through of your document, or you can do the kind of Notebook LM style podcast where they'll talk about your content in a more free-form way.
One thing that wasn't announced is new accents though, so I'm really hoping that we maybe get a, I don't know, like a Scottish or an English, British accent, I don't know.
I don't know if the Scottish accent is coming anytime soon. For me, that feels like the last frontier before AGI, you know?
If you can decipher those, then I don't know. I think at that point,
all bets are off.
You've passed the Turing test.
Exactly. Okay, so the third update that I want to mention, Victor, is all about Google Meet. So I don't know about you, but almost every team or person or organization that I train on Gemini and Notebook LM, they love the Take Notes for Me feature in Google Meet. Almost everyone has meetings, and almost everyone understands this problem or challenge of you want to focus on the people that you're speaking with in the call and be engaging and interacting with them, but you also want to be able to take the notes and capture, you know, the follow-up actions.
Yeah.
So that feature really helpful. Now it's being extended into more of like a meeting assistant. So you're able to catch up on particular parts of the meeting, even if you don't attend, which is cool. And then after the meeting as well, not only will you get the transcript, but you can get more helpful and customized outputs at the end too.
So is this like the meeting becomes almost like an artifact that's like queryable and you can ask questions about it and that sort of thing?
That's right. It's the next evolution, Victor.
Nice. I'm so looking forward to that as well. I hate taking notes.
All right, on to update number 4. All right, Victor, so one of my favorite features of all time in Google Workspace is a feature called Explore. Do you remember this one?
I love Explore. When I used to do Sheets training, the #1 kind of wow factor or the penny drop moment was always Explore, you know, writing formulas, being able to look into data, analyze that sort of thing. Yeah, why did they take it away?
I don't know, but Explore for me was incredible because it was the first time that I experienced a natural language type query, getting an output from that in a productivity environment, right? Unfortunately, that got taken away, but what's been launched now, it seems to be an even more upgraded version of that. So kind of similar to the meeting functionality, you have more of a data sort of analyst or assistant where I don't think they can quite replicate you anytime soon, right? I think the work that you do is super high level, but for the average user where they have a spreadsheet and they need to get quick analysis and updates, or maybe even need to understand trends that they're missing, I think this capability is going to be game changing.
That's awesome. There's almost a parallel to that, because on the BigQuery side, when we're talking to big data, they're releasing a data agent as well, where you can converse with the data and get analysis out of it as well. So it's really cool to see this technology percolate through,
Sprinkling
through the entire Google ecosystem. I'm so looking forward to that.
All right, on top day number 5. So this one, Wiktor, is all about Google Chat. So you know how you have the idea of these bots, or you have, like the Google Drive bot, and you can tag it and ask it to produce files for you. You get a stream of all the notifications, for example, right? Now you can tag Gemini directly in a space or a chat with someone to get helpful outputs and assistance as well. So it's directly coming into where you're speaking with your colleagues and able to kind of assist you as like an AI colleague almost. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's like, I guess they're bringing Gemini out of the app and into the ecosystem that you're living and breathing and working in day to day, right?
I think this is a theme that I'm seeing enlarged from Google, which is the idea of kind of the AI coming to you, like you said, and it being more of a conversation or collaboration, rather than like the chess move of I enter a prompt and I get an output back. It's more like using the AI and human intelligence at the same time to create something. Kind of like the Canvas feature in Docs that just
launched. That's right, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
All right, on top day number 6. All right, Wiktor, so I made a bold statement in our predictions video, which was that I think that organizations in 2025 are finally going to see the mass appeal of using video, both internally, but also externally too. Now, obviously people have been creating marketing content for years, but I think internal videos is something that has a massive opportunity. And the biggest barrier to that, or one of the biggest barriers, has always been, well, A, do I have the right tooling to be able to do video production effectively? And B, do I have the skills actually to use that tooling?
That's right.
Now, something like Google Vids is supposed to make it ubiquitous for anyone in an organization, even if they have literally no video production capabilities or experience, to produce a video for whatever their purpose or role is. Now, this is going to get a massive, massive boost, because guess what's coming to Vids? VO2.
Amazing. So the new model that can generate video using prompts is now in the productivity
directly embedded into Google Vids.
Wow.
So not only can I create content, not only can I get someone to read through my script, but I can actually use VO2, Google's like specialized model within Google Vids, an end user productivity solution in Workspace, to create amazing, high quality, incredible videos.
That is incredible. And we saw a little kind of teaser what VO2 can do in the keynote as well.
That's right.
I'm really, really looking forward to trying that one out.
All right, Wiktor, our last update is for Google Docs. And again, it follows this theme of having a kind of collaboration assistant or partner.
Right.
You're gonna get new capabilities in Docs that will not only just help improve the structure and create the formatting around the doc, but it will help you improve the argument that you're making within a document. So say you're doing an essay or writing a piece that's persuasive. Gemini will be able to actually help you make that argument better, or give you ideas for communicating what you're trying to achieve in a more effective way. Isn't that incredible?
I'm really curious to see how that's going to work.
Well, we need to do a demo, don't we?
I'm sure we will at some point.
All right, Wiktor. Well, that was our top 7 updates around AI and Google Workspace. I don't know how many of our predictions that we got right. It feels like we were quite on point.
Yeah,
I don't know what you think.
I think we got, what, we did 5 predictions so far. I think we've scored 3.
I think so.
That's decent.
That's not too bad.
Decent odds.
All right, folks, that's a wrap for day 2. I hope you enjoyed our recap of all of the AI and Google Workspace updates, and follow along for more, because we'll be releasing even more videos about all the incredible updates from Google Next 2025. See you, folks.